Listen up, my fellow coaches and leaders. The truth is, we all need a space to learn and grow so we can bust through our personal glass ceilings and step into our full potential, especially if we want to create the space to allow others to step into theirs. And that's where I come in. I'm not just a former clinical psychologist, but also a seasoned dream life and business coach with over 2 decades of experience helping people shatter their personal barriers and unleash their greatness. And here's the thing, you don't have to figure this all out on your own. As a heart-centered entrepreneur or industry leader, you deserve the best tools and strategies to help you and your business thrive. And that's why I'm excited to share my experience with you through the Coaching for Coaches podcast. Utilizing powerful combination of clinical skills, quantum physics, and strength-based coaching methods, I'll show you exactly what to do and exactly what to say to unleash your true potential and create a path for your clients to follow. And not just that, I'll also teach you how to build a thriving coaching business around your unique skill set and passions. So let's get started. It's time to answer your calling, make a lasting impact on the world, and create a lucrative living doing exactly what you love. Welcome to the Coaching for Coaches podcast, where greatness begins. Hey, you guys. I am Denise Walsh. Super excited to have you on the Dream Life Experience. This is something we do live here in the coaching community, coaching for coaches each and every week. And then just so you know, it actually goes on my podcast, Coaching for Coaches as well. So if you are coming in and you want to kind of binge listen to all of the Dream Life experiences that we've done so far, head over to my podcast, Coaching for Coaches. So not only will you get to have all of these experiences kind of all in one spot, hot seat coaching experiences, but also interviews and tons of content that will help you to become an excellent coach. So I'm going to double check here that everything is, that you can hear me and that you can see me. I see several of you are listening live. If you can comment that you're all good and you can see and hear me, that would be awesome. Just so I can be sure that everything is working perfectly. I see some comments. Awesome. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Joey. Hey, Audrey. Yay. Okay, perfect. We are well. We're doing well. So today what we're going to do, it's something super special. And I think we're going to do some variation of this most Dream Life experiences. What we're going to do is called hot seat coaching, which truly is a way for you to see a Dream Life coach in action. And so let me first answer the question. What is a Dream Life coach? A Dream Life coach is somebody that helps you go from where you are now to where you want to be by providing the tools, strategies, and the space to identify your next step. And so there's 2 pieces of the coin here. Sometimes we want to process through old hurts. Sometimes we want to truly gain clarity on where we want to go. And I teach what's called the Dream Life Pathway: head, heart, feet. Do you know what you want? Do you believe that it's possible? And do you know how to go get it? And so if you're out of alignment, you know what I mean? Like if there's a piece of you that you don't even know what you want, or you know what you want, but you don't believe it's possible. Like if there's a piece of you that's out of alignment, you're going to feel like you're spinning your wheels, you're second guessing, and you aren't making strategic, strong progress. Alignment happens when you know what you want and you're setting your internal GPS, you grow that belief that it's possible, and you know what to do. This is feet, right? I'm pointing to my feet. You know what to do in order to make things happen in your life. You know what to do on a daily basis in order to reach your goals. And so sometimes we need to learn new skills, but sometimes we need to grow our belief, and sometimes we need to gain more clarity and get more detailed in what it is we're looking to do. And so today I have a special guest. Her name is Michelle, and we are going to problem solve and work through one of the exercise or something that she's currently struggling with, dealing with, what's showing up in her life. So let me add her in. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being willing and able to participate in the hot seat live today. Before we get started into coaching, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and tell people a bit about who you are and what you do.
So my name is Michelle Antonovich. I am a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I was originally a family nurse practitioner for 20 years and decided that I wanted a change in life. And I was seeing a lot of like psychiatric patients in the office, and I kind of liked helping them. I felt more rewarded with doing that position. So I went back to school and obtained my certification in psych. But I do a lot of schooling. I received my DNP, my doctorate in nursing practice in leadership in 2016, and my certification in psych was after that. So I just love doing what I do.
You are a lifelong learner, because when I opened up the Dream Life certification for the first time, you were like, I'm in.
Absolutely.
Yes. So you've been able to participate in 90-day U-turn. You went to a Dream Life adventure, and then you're also learning how to use this content with your clients with what you already do. So how has this past, I guess it's been 9 months now, given you more tools in your toolbox, or supported your I guess it's your business, your job, what you do now?
I still think back to the time when we first originally talked, and I'll never forget this, Denise, because you said to me, how am I going to help you with all your degrees? Like, what can I do to help you? And I'm like, my God, you can learn from anybody. And there is so much that I do not know. And that's why I am an avid learner. I always want to grasp everything I can when it comes to learning. So when I saw your program, I was like, you know what, this is really good because I can use this with my clients. I can use it in my personal life. You know me better than the people may be watching this, but I have trauma from my past. From the age of 6 on, I had physical, sexual, and emotional trauma. So I knew that being in the program, the 90-day U-turn and the retreat, was going to be beneficial. And I knew I needed something. Like, I am 54, going to be 55 this year. And I just had this like deep-seated heart feeling that something was missing, that I wasn't at my 100%. And so when I seen the opportunity, of course, I ran with it.
I love that. Number one, you're hungry for growth. Number two, you're on your own healing journey. I mean, you've done a lot of work over the years, but you're still like, I'm not done yet. And so it feels like the program, Dream Life certification, came to you where you thought, you know what, I can use this on my own healing journey, and there are skills that I could learn with my clients. So have you been able to, number one, use this within your own healing journey, and then number two, use these concepts and exercises to support your clients?
Absolutely. Whenever we first met too, one of my goals was to write a book. So I wrote a book, and I believe it was 6 months time. I can't believe I did that, but I would have never done that without the support of this program. Never. I know in a million years I would not have, because I thought about it for 10 years prior to seeing the program. So I was able to use what I learned to write that book as my healing journey, because each time I wrote it, I felt less of a response from reading it and writing it. And then I kind of like used the tools that I obtained through you to help my clients as well, because, not only is this a journey for helping myself, but when I could see someone who suffers with the trauma that I suffered, or even worse sometimes, or even just uncontrolled depression, anxiety, and I can use some of these things to unblock some of those negative self-talk things that we do, and the self-sabotaging that we do, that I still do to this very day. There's no 100% perfect way to overcome that, but each time we learn these different skills and these different sets, we come so much closer to reaching that peak of, it's like, okay, now I have more control, and my body and my mind is not controlling me. I can control those thoughts and those negative things that I say or feel about myself.
I call it like an onion layer, like it's not necessarily a flip of the switch, but it's an onion layer. And as onion layers are released, you look back and you go, oh, wow, look how far I've come. But in the moment, you might not totally recognize the growth that you're experiencing. But for you, you just said something super powerful. You said, I have power over my thoughts and my body, versus my thoughts and my body, meaning fight or flight mode, that stressed out, freak out mode, chaos mode that a lot of us live in, especially if you've experienced trauma, Or if you're like a busy working mom, you know what I mean, in chronic stress most of the time, often if we don't learn these skills or if we haven't recognized it, we could be living in that space all the time and not even really know it. And so you've been able to move into rest and digest mode, gain control of your thoughts. We call them our thought traps, like notice them, take them back, and reclaim that power, which gives you the ability to be intentional with your day.
Absolutely. And I had an episode that happened just recently, where I had a family disruption, that would have spiraled me out of control had I not had what I've gone through. And I was actually reading your book, that talks about, our mental health and, getting better control of our thought processes. And I was working through that as I was going through this family disruption. Um, in the past, it's happened like 2 years ago, the same thing happened. My son's girlfriend, they're not married, was holding back my granddaughter from me. And I don't know if anybody's ever had that happen where a child was held from them, but it's very painful. So 2 years ago, it put me in a turmoil of depression and a pit that I couldn't bring myself out of. Now it's happened again just this past month. And when it happened, I was tearful, crying, depressed. I had depressive symptoms, but I didn't allow it to control how I felt and ruin my whole vacation, which I'm on right now. Like I was able to interact with my grandkids. So it's just the process of the whole thing and being able to identify in your mind, look, this is what I would have done. This is what I'm going to do now because I know that it's going to be better for my mental health, my spiritual health, and I know it's going to be better all the way around for relationships.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
powerful.
Okay, let's talk about that. 2 years ago, you have somebody who's pushing your buttons and truly, and I don't know the whole situation. But I know my guess is pushing your buttons on purpose to get back at your son or something rude, something that has nothing to do with you at all.
Yeah, nothing to do with me.
Yes, exactly. And so 2 years ago, how would you have interpreted that situation in your mind? Like what would have been the first thought that you would have experienced had she said, nope, not coming over, not allowed, or whatever?
Well, I can tell you right now, the first thought that came through my mind is, what did I do to deserve it? What did I do to make that person mad at me that they would withhold my granddaughter from me? Because I was always, you know me, I'm like the nicest person. You could probably walk all over me and I would just like, oh, here's my shirt. So anyway, I just couldn't fathom.
Exactly. Like I know it's keep going.
Yeah, so I just couldn't fathom like why this was happening to me. And I even said to God, why do I have to go through this trial and tribulation? What is going on? Why is this happening? And it was so hard for me to pull myself out of that it put me in this pit of depression that I was like, this is not me, and it was just like I couldn't sleep. I was just a mess.
So hold on a second. I wanna so what you're saying here is when the girlfriend's being rude, you are immediately, the story you're telling yourself is, I must have done something wrong.
Yep.
She doesn't believe in me or doesn't like me or something I did that is causing her to be rude. And so that story that starts the spiral. Why me? What did I do? And then it starts to impact your body. It starts to impact your sleep. And now my guess is, because I know this happens to me too, is you're like sleeping and like ruminating on it, right? And it's hard to fall asleep or stay asleep, or it's the first thing you think of when you wake up because you're just the story is replaying in your mind and it's impacting your emotions and impacting your body.
Absolutely, yeah.
So were there any other symptoms 2 years ago when this situation happened that you can recognize? Like how long did you stay in freak out mode?
Well, it was a while because my granddaughter was 3 months old when I was cut off, and she's 2 now, and I just got to see her this week. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it had been a struggle. He was going back and forth to court trying to get custody so that I could see her and he could see his own kid because he wasn't even seeing her but an hour a week. So I would say it probably went on a long time till I went to the retreat and I was able to like process it, and like able to work through it and say, wait a minute. This had absolutely nothing to do with me. It's just that this is the way for that person to get back at my son. And so I was in the road of it. I was like in the middle of the traffic and I just got run over by it because of what happened.
Okay, you guys, this is so cool. I want you to hear what Michelle is saying. And this is why I love doing these exercises with you guys able to watch and ask questions. So put any questions in the comments below. But what I'm hearing you say is that this lasted for months. Because
Absolutely.
do you go there every summer? Is it like what month were you there last year?
Well, I go to Pennsylvania every quarter.
Okay.
So my granddaughter's in Pennsylvania, but I wasn't able to see her at all for 21 months
Yeah. Okay.
until just recently.
Because we just went to the retreat past in this last October and a 90-day
Right.
U-turn. And at the retreats, we do a lot of these heart space exercises where we grow our belief, but we're also releasing the things that are still eating us up inside. And so you're saying that during one of those exercises, you were actually to identify this as being like a trigger and something that was still eating you up inside, and then work through it, release it, and come to a new story. Whereas the old story was like, I did something wrong. This new story was, she's trying to get back at my son, and it has nothing to do with me at all.
Exactly.
So when you went back on vacation to Pennsylvania, tell me how you handled her this time.
Well, luckily, I don't have to see her, but because my son gets my granddaughter every other week, I come up on the weeks that he gets her. So I still don't have to deal with her. But it was like a relief knowing that now I have finally been able to see this child. And, I had the biggest thing I think, Denise, was I was able to forgive her for what she did. Even though I'll never probably see her again, I had to like forgive her for what she did because basically that's all she knew to do. She was grasping for whatever she was grasping for. And I don't know why she did it, but I just had to come to terms with that because I know for a fact that if I don't forgive, I'm only hurting myself, nobody else. She doesn't even know how I feel.
So, but you said you've gone up there before quarterly and not seen her.
Yeah, I haven't seen my granddaughter at all for 21 months, but I haven't seen the mother since the baby was 3 months old.
Okay. So during the times you came to visit and you weren't able to see her, what was that about?
Well, they were still tied up in the court system, so I wasn't able to see my granddaughter Mira, but I just would spend time with my other granddaughter Bailey, who's also the same daddy but different mommy. And I would just enjoy that time and ask him, how things going and stuff. It was still difficult, but I was able to process it without bawling or going into, like a full body ache mode of like, I can't see this baby,
So was your son not able to see her either, or was it, so there was stuff with that? Okay. Okay. So you weren't able to see her because of the custody battles. And now that
Right.
that's been a bit resolved, you now can come up when he has her. And
Right.
okay.
Right.
And so did you feel a bit triggered this go around?
Oh, definitely. I felt really triggered. And that was the amazing thing, that because I went through the program, when my youngest son's girlfriend refused to let me see my 1-year-old granddaughter, this is
a second grandchild.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah. So she decided she was mad at my son for something. And she decided, well, grandma and grandpapa aren't going to see Ayla. This is the other grandbaby. And I was like, okay, here we go again. Now I could have went down that rabbit hole and said, here we go again. Why am I being punished, God? Why am I going through this trial, tribulation, like I did last time? But instead I took a step back and I said, this is not about me. This is about my son and this girl. And I have to wait it out and see what happens. And I have to have faith. Did I cry? Absolutely. Did I have feelings of depression? A little bit. but I didn't wallow in it. I didn't sit in it. And I was able to interact with family, have a good time.
Right.
It was just hugely different.
Wow. Okay, that's powerful. So the first time when this happened, and of course, the first time is the first time, and it's a shock to the system, right? So we want to give ourselves grace there. But you had that stinking thinking thought that kept you pretty much in this inner turmoil, whether you could certainly function and you were doing your stuff, but you were still like mad for months.
Mm-hmm.
And then learning the skills, releasing with the first girlfriend, you learned, okay, here is what I can control. Here is what it's truly about, and catch it, and then retrain your brain, focusing on the fact that this isn't about you at all. So which then impacts your body. So you could sleep better,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't recluse or, like hide from the rest of your family. You were able to enjoy the rest of your family, which is, to be honest, like a huge deal, because it didn't ruin your entire trip and you didn't miss out on all these other moments.
Absolutely. I mean, I was interacting with the babies and my family just like I would any other time. Nobody really was upset unless they asked me about Ayla. And then I would cry, because that's natural for me to cry because I can't see my grandbaby. But I wouldn't hang there. I would just, okay, wait my tears away, and I would, go do what I needed to do to be with my family. But yeah, I didn't lose sleep. I didn't change my eating habits. I didn't have any of those like things that I had the initial time. And I went back to what you had in the program. Like, I took your book with me on the trip on purpose, because I wanted to go back through them. The key to this is you can't just do it once. It's like exercise. You have to practice, practice, practice. And, when you do it so many times, like brushing your teeth, it's just like, okay, now I know what to do. And it gets quicker and quicker and quicker each time.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually sent me a screenshot. You were like, here, I know what to do. You took a picture of the page so you could do the exercise over and over again and not have to write in your book. I thought that was very creative.
Yeah, and I was in my car and I didn't have a pencil and I couldn't write. So I'm like, I was determined to do it, because I knew that would heal. That would be a healing thing for me. When I got to Pennsylvania, it would help me deal with what was going to be, what I anticipated was going to happen, which it did. But it just helped me immensely get through that process.
How proud of yourself do you feel right now?
I feel awesome. I mean, because, and I've told you this before, I really truly think this should be taught in all schools to all children everywhere, because we don't learn these types of skills anywhere. I mean, look how much education I have and I haven't learned it anywhere. And I told you when we first met, I'm going to get something out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you said, I can't believe I didn't learn this in my psych degree. I didn't learn this in.
None of it. No. Mm-mm.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm proud of you too. And I'm proud because you didn't just come in and put your toe in and say, let me check it out. You dove in and said, I want to immerse myself in this content. And then you immediately were able to use it with the clients you were already working with as you were practicing it with yourself. And so the more emotionally healthy we are as coaches, the more we're going to be able to create that space and be there for our clients and have it not ping us or carry it with us when we leave. I mean, it's just so cool that it's our job as coaches to continue to grow and to continue to heal so we can be our best self for our clients.
Yeah, we need to have coaches out there that can help people with this, because it's everywhere. It's not just my situation. There's so many people out there who have situations that are like mine, or maybe worse or different, but unless we get out there and learn it and share it with people, there's going to be a lot of people suffering. So I value that I can do that as a coach.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story. And thank you for sharing not only how you've continued to grow, but also like taking a look back and say, wow, I have come a long way. I don't think we notice that unless we give ourselves that reflection time.
And I just want to thank you again, like I have many times, but thank you so much for starting this program, for doing this program, for offering the retreats. The retreats have been life-changing for me as well. I am just so thankful God put you on my path and brought me to where we are today.
It's one of those like like divine appointments, you know, because I didn't know Michelle until she said, I'm interested. And so again, it's just kind of like Facebook world brought us at the exact
Yeah,
right time.
absolutely.
Probably why the people listening, right, are in this group, because Facebook world said this would be helpful for you. But you guys, I do want to mention, then I'm going to go to the comments, that Michelle's book is called Don't Allow Your Past to Determine Your Future. And we'll post a link to it in the comments section once we're done here. And check it out. I mean, I think the thing is that when you see people like Michelle and other people in the group, like doing the things they say they want to do and accomplishing the goals they say they want to accomplish, it rubs off on you and you believe that it's possible too. So absolutely support Michelle. Her story is heartbreaking. Her survivor story is empowering. And so you feel both of those within her story. Outrage at what happened, but then so proud of how she's overcome it. And so definitely check it out. But Michelle, is there anything that you would say to somebody who's thinking, you know what, I want to use, to give value to the world in a new way, or I want to learn how to be a dream life coach and coach somebody through some of these trigger moments? What would you say to them?
I think that, even in nursing school, they tell us, learn it, teach it, show it, that type of thing. But I think that it's so important to coach, because you learn it better. Like, you can go through the program, that's awesome. But when you teach someone that process, it imprints in your brain so much more, and you just have so much power with it.
Yeah.
Than if you just take the program, But I think everybody should definitely take the program, definitely do the retreat. It is worth every minute of it's just awesome.
There's just not many times in life. We talk about this in 90 Day U-Turn sometimes, like there's not a ton of times in, like, when do people ask us these important questions? It's not like while we're running errands, right? Like there's not very many spaces for us to actually talk about what we want and what's holding us back and all the things in between. So, all right, well, I'm going to go through some of the questions here. If you are interested in learning more about how to become a dream life coach, how to walk somebody through their trigger moments and their thought traps and help them to retrain their brain so they can catch it and take back their power, put coach in the comments below. And what I'll do is reach out to you and we'll schedule a mini strategy call. We'll see if this would be a great fit for you. So let me check out the comments and see if there is. Tasha said, I feel like a fly on the wall. I know it is. And what's kind of fun about doing this on Zoom is that we feel like we're just talking to each other. So it feels like, cool. Any other thoughts or questions? Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. You guys, I know that the certification program is going to support you on your healing journey and your growth journey, but it's also going to give you the tips and tools to support either current clients or current team that you work with, or allow you the skills to create your own program and your own online coaching business too. So if you're interested in becoming a dream life coach or learning more about what that really looks like and how that works, put coach in the comments below and I'll reach out to you. So again, thank you so much, Michelle, for your time and your energy today. Thank you guys for being on live. We'll be back to answer any questions in the comments as they come up. If you're listening to the replay, put #replay and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.